For decades, the Vietnam War has been a Hollywood obsession. Apocalypse Now, Platoon, Full Metal Jacket, First Blood. These were blockbuster films, embraced by audiences and critics alike. And for decades, they've helped us understand a painful war and understand each other. From Spotify and the Ringer Podcast Network, I'm Brian Raftery, and this is Do We Get to Win This Time? How Hollywood Made the Vietnam War. Listen on the Big Picture feed.
This episode is brought to you by Visible. Maybe you've already let your New Year's resolution slip. We all have, but you can still make a 2 year's resolution with Visible. Right now, you can get a one-line wireless plan from Visible for just $20 per month for 24 months. 24 months is basically 4 Bachelor seasons. That could be 4 engagements, 4 broken engagements, so many other couples we didn't see coming. It's really an eternity in Bachelor Nation. And that's unlimited 5G data powered by Verizon with no annual contracts. Switch now at Visible.com and use the code VISIBLE24. Don't miss out. Offer ends January 31st. New members only. Promotional rate with service on the Visible plan. For additional terms and network management practices, see Visible.com. This episode is brought to you by eBay Authenticity Guarantee. eBay knows that when it comes to jewelry, authenticity is the real gem. When you see the blue check mark that says Authenticity Guarantee, it means your next piece will be carefully inspired by jewelry experts and will always be worth its weight in gold. Whether you're looking to make a statement or build the perfect everyday look, eBay is making sure you get the real deal. With eBay Authenticity Guarantee, you can trust that jaw-dropping piece will always arrive jaw-droppingly real. Ensure your next purchase is the real deal. Visit ebay.com for terms. Welcome to Bachelor Party. I'm Juliet Litman. I am here with Callie Curry. Callie, hello.
Hola.
A pretty fun episode of The Bachelorette this week. We're going to get into it, but can we do a little quick news?
Yeah, let's do it.
Well, I just wanted to celebrate first Gabby. She's in a relationship. Excited for her. Robbie Hoffman. I hope they're doing well. Hope they had a nice weekend. Mia and I discussed it last week, so we don't need to rehash it, but I just thought that was nice. And then Caitlyn and Jason confirmed their breakup, and Caitlyn left Instagram to protect her mental health. And who are the people in this world that want to be mean to people when they've had a breakup? When it's like it's an amicable breakup, and then people are blaming her. I saw Amanda Hirsch from Not Skinny But Not Fat was posting about all the ways people are blaming Caitlyn. It's just who are the people in this world that are famous people have gotten divorced? I need to take to my social media to blame someone. It's just so weird.
A couple things. One, happy for Gabby. Very happy for Gabby. She looks very happy. So
she
that's
does.
All we want.
Yeah.
That's all we want for her. Cute couple. 2, to your point, I don't know why anyone would be mean to someone who just went through a relationship breakup or whatever. But why be mean at all? I really, really, really don't understand why. If you don't like something, you think, you know what? I'm going to go comment on this person's page and
it's
tell
really
them
weird.
I don't like it. It's so strange because the biggest thing of it all is if you saw that person in person, 99.9% sure you're not saying anything.
Yeah. And, we're obviously sometimes mean on this podcast, but I actually keep that in mind. I'm I'm not willing to say anything here that I wouldn't repeat back if we were interviewing that person. I try to be what we said about you wasn't that nice, but here's what we said. And anything that feels over the line is just why say it? Keep it private.
Even this to me is different. People talk shit about people. That's the way the world works. We all do it.
I love gossip.
Everyone does it. That's just a fact. And sure, some people try not to more than others. I can't say that I'm one of those people, but
Nor am I. It's one of the reasons we get along.
But it is what it is. People are going, because that's when you're having a conversation with someone that you have friends in common or whatever, it just gets brought up. Guess what? People are talking shit about me too. They're talking shit about you too, Juliet. That's just what happens. So, and it doesn't even, when I say shit, I don't necessarily mean all super negative, but people talk about each other. People talk about each other. It is what it is. You, especially your family members, you're guessing why things happened or why they happened that way, whatever. Fine. Media, it happens. That's how people make money. ESPN, like you're going to have to say some negative stuff about people. You're going to have to question why things happen. That is the point of the show. Same with podcasting. Same with e-news, whatever. But why does anyone feel like they need to personally go to someone's page? Like you're going to her personal page and want to make her feel bad. That I don't understand. If you want to go and say something about Caitlyn to your friends in a group chat and be like, I think she's the reason why they broke up. Cool. Have at it. Caitlyn's never going to know about your group chat, nor your name or anything. But if you go to her actual page and do it, I'm just like, who does that satisfy you? Who is that for?
I guess it does. I don't know. And also the fact that people think they know about their relationship. I mean, I know that Caitlyn does share a lot on social media, but it's also a persona. Like Caitlyn's been in the public eye for a long time at this point. So is Jason, but she's been longer. And frankly, she's like just more captivating as like an on-air person.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that any of us know her. I mean, part of her talent is making you feel like you do. And I do think she shares a lot, but like, it's just very strange to me that people think that like they're just, it's a free for all just because like they were on The Bachelorette or have a podcast where they can like,
I think that's the argument, right? People are like, they're public figures, so they open themselves up to this. And I'm like, totally agree with that. If you're a public figure, you're going to get some backlash for every single thing that you do. Whatever.
You're asking people to talk about you as a public figure.
For sure. But that is different than you, Mary Lou in Cincinnati, going to Caitlyn's page and being like, I just want to let you know you suck. It's like, huh?
Or like, you shouldn't have pursued your career, or
are you
you're
okay,
still
Mary
stuck
Lou?
on. This is a huge loss for Mary Lou in Cincinnati, whoever she may be.
I don't understand why anyone would be negative on someone's, even post on your own page if you want to. But like, why are you tagging her? Why are you going in her comment section and purposely trying to break her down, or anyone for that matter? And also, this is one thing. If there's like a murderer or something, have at it. Go comment on their page that they killed someone. Like there's people you can do that to. But someone who broke up with their person, like who they thought they were going to spend forever with, I'm not sure if they need to be like kicked while they're down.
I love the idea of like social
Murderers
media
having
accounts
IGs.
for a murderer. And it's like, you can comment and like give feedback. Although I want to tease that out down the line. I feel like there's a lot to be said there. Like if someone did like a good strategy, like in court, like here's all the feedback we've received on this murderer. They should not be given an easy sentence or whatever.
Everyone seems to be on the same page, Judge.
Well, good luck, Caitlyn and Jason. Hope you are able to find people to support you. Last bit of news, Golden Bachelor started shooting. Very excited.
Jerry.
Is his name? His name is Gary, actually.
Gary.
It's just spelled like Jerry. I can't keep it straight either. All right. And on that note, we must talk about Charity and her overnight dates in Fiji. Obviously, we are starting with one person, and we must discuss what the fuck happened with Xavier. Callie.
Yeah.
Has your opinion of Xavier changed after seeing this interaction with Charity?
I'm going to go with no.
I'm going to go with absolutely not. In fact, I like him more.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay. I thought you were going to say yes.
No. For some reason, the way he couched the fact that he cheated on a previous girlfriend was so funny to me. He was like, I just have to tell you, I cheated. And he said multiple times over the course of 5 days, which made him sound like a torrid affair. And then he later made it clear he was on vacation, like with his boys, as he said, and had like a vacation fling.
Also, his vacations with his boys seem a little wild because he's like, am I going to be able to do this? Am I going to be able to stay faithful when this is in my face? Like knowing like it's going to be on my face again. There's going to be girls and I'm going to have to make decisions.
I am very anti-cheating if people get hurt. Like I think if you're not getting hurt, maybe it's not cheating. But in general, I'm anti-cheating. It's bad. I just want to be clear about that. But there was something about how he presented all this information that just felt so in sync with what I thought about him already. And I just, for some reason, found it funny because they were acting like he, to follow today's theme, committed a murder. And it's like,
100%.
he was a young man on vacation, probably not ready to commit. And he is being
Still not
open
ready
about
to
how he's
commit.
still not ready to commit. And she was like furious with him. And it doesn't really change my opinion about her either. Like, I feel the same. Like, I don't like her less or whatever. But I just thought this was really funny. And I was like, this is the drama we need. Two people not being on the same page about the severity of vacation cheating.
Okay, a few things. One, I thought it was funny that he waited till the final. It's not funny, but I did laugh, but it was not funny that he waited till the final four to tell Charity. It was like, you've known this whole time that this is a very touchy subject for her.
Yeah.
Waited till the final four to tell her. Strike one. Then him being like, I don't know if I'm not going to cheat if it happens again. Like,
well, I didn't understand anything he was saying. I was really confused. Like, I have to ask you, when he said to her, like, I need this night in that room to know, was he saying we need to have sex so that I can know if this is enough for me?
I'm not sure. So to Charity's defense,
I just want to say she didn't do anything wrong. It's how she feels. I just found the whole thing funny.
But yeah,
sorry, I interrupted you. Defend her.
No, you're fine. I was gonna say in Charity's defense, that whole, what do you call it? Like back and forth? Yeah, interaction. That's a great word. That whole interaction, I was like, yeah, I'd be like, it's time for you to go. Like, you need
was he
a
asking
night
for sex?
What
was happening?
It was one of two things. He's either asking for sex or saying like, I just need a few more hours to see, like, suss it out. And like Charity being like, what do you mean? I am who I am. Like nothing's going to change in a few hours. I was like, correct. She's right about that. Nothing's going to change in a few hours.
That's why all it could be was like, I need to know if the sex is good.
And the problem is it has to be that because we also know Xavier's not stupid. So he's not just like saying shit to say it. So I think he's being like, I don't disagree with this. I would like to have sex before I get engaged with someone, period.
Of course.
So
Great.
If that's what he was saying, I understand it's hard to say that, but I also don't disagree with you, Xavier. I would also like to have sex before I get engaged to someone. And for him to be like, listen, I'm there, but like, I just got to be sure before I tell you I'm not going to cheat on you, which I'm like, I appreciate the honesty.
I appreciated it as well. I mean, he clearly is not ready. Like, he's not the right one because he's not ready.
That was my first note. First note in the notes was Xavier's not ready for marriage.
He's just not. And that's totally fine. It's like, no problem there. But I have another question for you. He kept being like, my heart there's no doubt in my heart, but my head, I'm not sure. If you're like seriously dating someone, would you rather their heart be in it or their head be in it? Like, I feel like those two things. I would
rather their heart be in it because with Xavier, what we have seen from him has been a pretty logical stance. Like, I don't know. This is really fast. Like, how could we possibly know each other enough to get engaged and get married? Like, all those things seem very rational to me. So and he's said these things to Charity. So I'm like, if I'm Charity, I would think like his heart is in it. His head is just like, whoa, this is really fast. This really makes sense. This is kind of crazy. All those things are valid.
Yeah.
The other reason why I think I could laugh at it, because remember, Jason did something similar, not the same, but similar, being like, waited till the final four and was kind of like, I don't know. I don't know if I like you enough. His name? Wasn't his name Jason? No, you loved him. Jason, tennis pro, Gabby.
Oh, yeah, him. Yes, I did love him.
Yeah.
Jason Alabaster. He's ghosted me. He's not available. Something really weird with him. I keep asking WB about him. They're like, no, he's not available. And I don't know what happened. He's in there, a real weird guy.
Yes, him, Jason. He did a similar thing with Gabby.
But he didn't say like, I need the night to know. Something happened. No. Something happened in the room that we still don't know about.
But even before the room, he was very like, made it seem like he was unsure about the whole thing. Obviously, it was not handled the exact same way as Xavier, but it was like waited till the final four to be like, whatever. Anyways, the only difference and the reason why Jason, I was kind of like, what a dick. And Xavier, I don't think that about him, is because this entire 8 weeks, I don't know what week they're on, whatever, the whole season, he has said, I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know if I'm ready. I got to tell you, I don't know if I'm ready.
Clearly.
Like, we even said when she asked to go meet his family before that, we were like, oh, that's shocking. He basically told you, like, I don't know if I can get there. And thinking of getting proposed at the end of this is really scary for me. I'm not sure if I'll be at that point. And she was like, awesome. I'd like to meet your family.
It put his family date in a lot more perspective for me because he kept asking them to like tell him like, go for it, do it. Like he's looking for someone to tell him to settle down, but he knows he doesn't want to yet. So it's just, it ain't it.
Yeah. But I think that's why I could laugh at it because I'm like, let's not act like we're surprised here. He has said it so many times. Now, the cheating is a little different. You telling her in the final four, like you could have mentioned that on one of your one-on-one dates or any alone time you had with her. You could have dropped that in the beginning. I also will agree with Charity that her asking, like, what did you learn from that? And he was kind of just like, I don't know. I've got to try harder. Like it wasn't really anything.
He literally learned nothing. He was just like, I think he learned that he likes to have a lot of fun on vacation. He's not willing to rule it out yet. Yeah. He's like, yeah, I need the opportunity to hook up with random girls.
He learned that he's not sure if he could never do it again. That's what he learned. That's what he learned. He was like, his exact words were like, I think I just need to be a little bit more introspective. Like, huh? What, Xavier?
I love this guy. He is definitely not ready for marriage. And I don't know if I recommend anyone date him right now, but he seems like a great time.
I think you can date him if you want to have fun. Go have fun. Just not anything serious.
Right. Maybe not closed off, you know?
All that being said, I also don't think that infidelity in your early 20s is, you're not a murderer. You're not a psychopath. I'm not sure if you need to go to like therapy forever because you made a wrong decision. Like,
completely agree.
How I did agree with how he answered it. That would be a red flag for me if I'm Charity, if I'm trying to actually get engaged in a week. So I agree with that. But how she acted about infidelity, or how she does act about infidelity in general, to me is a little extreme.
Well, it seems like her ex, who really traumatized her, cheated on her repeatedly over like a long period of time. So it seems like that
was another note. I think that is a habitual cheater, a habitual, probably pathological liar, because you can't get away with it without lying. That's different than obviously like cheating. If you get cheated on, it does not feel good. I think, majority of women have been cheated on before in their life. I'd say it's probably a majority of men. They just don't know about it. But anyways.
People cheat a lot.
Yeah, people cheat. It doesn't feel good. It fucking sucks.
No, it feels like shit. Yeah.
But I do think that what her ex did and what Xavier did on vacation is a little different.
Beyond cheating. Definitely. We don't know more of the details of like what Xavier did with that, but I got the impression that it wasn't like he lived a lie for a long time.
Yes,
it seems like
agreed.
He cheated and then there was immediate fallout, I think, based on the information he gave, which is not a lot. So maybe I'm giving him too much credit, but
no, but this is just based off of what we know. And this is based off, this is the same information Charity knows.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
How long do you think that conversation went on for? Because it seemed like it was a really long back and forth of them like sort of like a tug of war over like, what'd you learn? Nothing. So are you going to cheat again? No. Are you ready?
Are you going to cheat again? Like, was like, I don't know.
Sorry. Are you going to cheat again? Was an I don't know. You're right.
He was basically like, if you're not my wife, probably.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's clear what Xavier wants. Like, he just shouldn't be on the show, and he is no longer. But I was really surprised that was it. I thought there would be like, I thought they would be drawn out.
I thought she was still gonna go with him to the fantasy suite. I really did, because like,
me too.
Part of me was just like, all right, well, you really like him, and you want to see what's gonna happen, and he says he needs tonight, so.
I admire her for not, honestly, because I don't know how you could. They edited it so weirdly that there's obviously a lot we didn't see, but based on the edit we got, there's almost no way to interpret that except for him being like, I need to have sex with you to know. And so I admire her for not doing it. Just being like, well, you didn't learn anything. And like, I'm also not giving in to like your one need when I'm sure about this.
Yeah.
So I thought that was like the right move.
I thought it was the right move just because like, also, I don't want to have sex with you ready. Knowing I'm going to get married to Dotun.
That as well. So, actually, I'm glad you brought that up. I think Dotun's date went first. I think the order was Dotun, Xavier, Joey, because she seemed and the order they showed it on TV was Xavier, Joey, Dotun. I think that because she seemed really distraught on Joey's date, at least at the beginning. Like, she just didn't seem comfortable. She didn't seem like she wanted to be there. She just seemed distracted, and it was also like super awkward. I mean, part of it is because the car broke down and they just were walking with their shoes on through water. And she referenced Xavier a few times when she was wearing that outfit, and they don't really do reshoots on this show. Meanwhile, with Dotun, she didn't mention Joey or Xavier at all. She didn't mention any of the other dates by name or specifics. And she seemed really happy. So I think that actually was first.
Wow. I don't disagree with you. I also think Dotun could have gone anywhere and would have gotten the same result.
Well, I also think if you're Charity and you know it's Dotun, which maybe she doesn't know, but I don't know. It really surely seems like it. Don't you want Dotun to go first so then you can like decide how far you want to go with the other guys? Like not even like sex, just like emotionally. Because like if you think I would want the guy that I think it's going to be first, because if it goes well, I can like just rule out the other guys.
So you think she's told Joey she's falling in love with him after Dotun?
Yeah. I think what happened was she was so shook by Xavier that she like just holding on.
I think it went in the order it went in. And Joey's date...
What's your evidence?
Joey's date ended well. And so I think she was like ready to go for Dotun. I also, like I said, I think Dotun could have gone after Xavier and she would have been totally fine. I think she is so obsessed with Dotun.
She could have. She could have. But she referenced Xavier multiple times in setting up the Joey date. And she looked miserable. She really did.
In the beginning. Yeah. I was going to say, when I was trying to interrupt you, sorry, that when the car was breaking down and everything, like she was like freaking out. Like even Joey was like, I think she's really stressed. I don't think he knew why, but he could sense that. And in general, I think Joey has a really good sense on like how she's feeling.
I like Joey. I did not give him enough credit, but a couple things I noticed that date. There's only been 7 or 8 episodes, right? I think there's been 7. I think at least 3 of them, maybe 4, have included Charity like pulling up to a date in a vehicle.
Yeah.
Or like being like, well, now we're going to drive. I'm like, does this woman love driving? I mean,
seems like
is this like one of the things she said? Yeah, it really does.
Not a passenger princess. That is not Charity's thing. Oh,
no, not at all.
I loved when the car broke down. She was like, Joey, do you want to drive? And he was like, sure. And then it shows like an interview. He's like, I don't know what I'm going to do different. Like, we're just stuck, but I'll try. And I'm like, right. Joey's like, if you can't do it, why do you think I can? The car's just not working.
The walking through the water killed me. I understand they had to keep their shoes on because it was like rocky or whatever. But did they have to walk through the water? Like, why was that the only path? Like, it didn't make any sense.
I don't know. But then I was just thinking like, this is just cheap.
Also, every single date was cheap. Like, they didn't actually do anything. It was all just on beaches.
And the waterfall was not a big waterfall.
There was no backup when the car broke down. Like, that was it. They just, all right, now you're walking to your destination. What is this? Like, it was really weird.
It wasn't great. I was like, couldn't they have just like paused filming and tried to figure out something else?
Or have a backup plan. Also, the hotel rooms were not the nicest I've ever seen on the show.
Well, I was thinking about that because I went to Fiji last summer and I was like, oh, they must be on the Big Island because where is there this big of a hotel? Like we did our situation.
You had houses, right?
Yeah. It was a hotel technically, I think. But like the hotel had 10 houses and we had all 10 of them. Like it was not a big situation at all.
I don't know, but they also did some island hopping, I think.
They did. And then I also saw, that's why I'm like, maybe they're staying on the Big Island and they'll go to, because there's so many islands in Fiji, they'll just go to like an island per
331.
Yeah.
We learned that.
And they said Naka, which is how you say thank you in Fijian, which was cool to hear. Also, I thought it was interesting that they did a traditional Fijian wedding or learned about a traditional Fijian wedding because when I was there, we had them come. There was like a performing arts center in Fiji and they came and performed a play for us and the play was
cool.
about a traditional Fijian wedding.
Oh.
And it was a little gruesome. Because you have to be a virgin
to get married.
Yeah. And I guess like you have sex and then there's like your family's like waiting to see the blood.
That's really gross.
Yeah. Also, I don't remember bleeding. I don't know.
I was actually going to say the opposite, which is there's more reasons why one might bleed than just losing their virginity.
Well, yeah, obviously. But I'm like, did you? I didn't bleed after I lost my virginity. At least I don't remember that.
I didn't either.
Yeah. Is that average? Is it average that people bleed? I don't know. I'd like to know.
I think some do.
If we have any gynos,
it's a stereotype.
Yeah,
obviously. It's not a stereotype, but it's like the
Well,
you know,
is it? What's that called? It's a
urban legend,
sure
myth, expectation. I don't know what it is, but it's definitely like a thing, and many people
It's not
do.
really an urban legend because it does happen.
Yeah. But also like
I just want to know if it's average. Does it happen to the
plenty
average
of other
person?
reasons why people bleed too. So I guess you could like lie, fake it.
I don't know. Yeah, like I don't know. Prick your
This
finger.
has been a very sex-oriented episode because of Xavier. I just like would love to ask him what he was thinking. I don't know. How long did that go on for is my main question though. It seemed long and like painful. They both seemed really unhappy by the end.
Both Aaron and Xavier. Like Xavier, you flew all the way to Fiji knowing you don't want to get married.
He probably was like, I'd like to go to Fiji.
And then Aaron, which we haven't touched on.
We cannot even get there yet.
Okay.
I'm not ready to discuss Aaron.
Okay.
Hold that thought. I have a couple of things I wanted to add about Joey and Xavier, and then we can talk about the other two guys. But first of all, I think Charity has been really well styled this whole season. I've loved her outfits. She looks really cute. She looks good. The outfit she wore for dinner with Xavier was appalling. It was like a black bathing suit / bodysuit with like sequin pants. And it was like
pink sequin pants.
That
were see-through.
See-through. I hated it. And it was the beginning of her looking like she could just be swimming at literally any moment for this whole episode. Every time she was always dressed in like a black bodysuit / bathing suit. And I understand they're like on the islands, but there's other ways to dress.
Yeah. Like there was no like crochet or
no crochet,
raffia,
no like crepe, no linen.
Yeah.
No like sundresses really. It was like,
I don't know.
And I think
she went the swimsuit route.
I just don't think that was the right route.
No,
just didn't
I
like
agree.
it.
The pants alone to me were a no, but
the pants were awful. The pants were like Vegas mom gone wrong.
Vegas pool party.
Yes. Like Bachelorette, like, oh, I gotta look cool or something. I don't know. It's horrible. I hated that outfit. And then she just looked at all times like she's ready to swim. And we actually haven't really seen her swim that much. And they've also eliminated hot tubs from this show. It used to be a staple.
That's true.
The Bachelorette.
That is true.
There has not been nary a hot tub this entire season. And they're in Fiji. There's plenty of opportunity now. So weird.
Yeah. Also, you would think that like backup date. Easily just throw them in a hot tub
anywhere.
Throw them in a hot tub.
We've seen it. Number 2, on Joey's date, his evening outfit, he was just wearing like what? Like it was very like resort wear, but not in a trendy sense. It was like little boy forced to look nice for dinner at the all-inclusive resort. And I thought it was really funny.
Or like what you buy in the gift shop.
Yeah. It's like he forgot to bring clothes like that.
His hair, I don't know if it's because he hasn't gotten it cut in a while, but it was just styled differently than it was in the beginning of the season. It feels.
Two people have been really present this summer with bad hair. And that's Sammy on Love Island and Joey on The Bachelorette.
Yeah.
And similar hair. They both need Chem to help them out. Who the fuck is Theo? I'm still listening to a little bit Leave It all the time.
Yeah, I've transitioned to it's giving bad bitch. So
it's giving bad bitch. Bad bitch. Bad bitch. Great song.
So good.
You sent me a lot of TikToks and I just like go back and watch them over and over. My favorite is Maya doing the sound from
it's so good.
It. And Catherine too.
And now like it's clearly popular over there because like they all like literally every Love Islander has like made a TikTok to the sound.
Well, it's a great song.
Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by eBay Authenticity Guarantee. eBay knows that when it comes to jewelry, authenticity is the real gem. When you see the blue check mark that says Authenticity Guarantee, it means your next piece will be carefully inspired by jewelry experts and will always be worth its weight in gold. Whether you're looking to make a statement or build the perfect everyday look, eBay is making sure you get the real deal. With eBay Authenticity Guarantee, you can trust that jaw-dropping piece will always arrive jaw-droppingly real. Ensure your next purchase is the real deal. Visit ebay.com for terms. This episode is brought to you by Visible. Maybe you've already let your New Year's resolution slip. We all have, but you can still make a 2 year's resolution with Visible. Right now, you can get a one-line wireless plan from Visible for just $20 per month for 24 months. 24 months is basically 4 Bachelor seasons. That could be 4 engagements, 4 broken engagements. So many other couples we didn't see coming. It's really an eternity in Bachelor Nation. And that's unlimited 5G data powered by Verizon with no annual contracts. Switch now at Visible.com and use the code Visible24. Don't miss out. Offer ends January 31st. New members only. Promotional rate with service on the Visible plan. For additional terms and network management practices, see Visible.com.
Back to Joey.
Yeah.
Sammy Jr. I thought their date actually, the first 30 minutes were rough. And then outside of that, I thought it went
so awkward.
Really well.
It did. I just don't see the chemistry. I don't know. It's just not popping off for me.
I don't know. Listen, I don't think she's picking him. I think Dotun's won like 7 weeks ago. But I do think that there's mutual feelings there. It seemed like,
Definitely.
To me, I think that Joey really appreciated, which we have talked about Charity not being good at listening and like kind of just like makes things about herself, which she did. But this time it makes sense. Like this time she was trying to be like, I relate to you and this is how, and it made sense. So
Yes.
I thought that conversation was really good. And I think that Joey, like it seemed like his eyes were watering a little bit. I feel like either he was very tired because of jet lag, because it is across the world.
And he had to walk through a stream with his shoes on.
I do think he really appreciated it.
I think so too, but I don't feel I have clarity on like what his family was referring to about how she wasn't getting the full him and how he didn't seem like himself. Like,
Yeah.
what was your interpretation of his answer? I mean, he basically said I was nervous and my family, and he also said that people expect him to be a certain way. And so when he's like not always like the life of the party or very peppy, like people are surprised and he doesn't like to act like that. So, but to me, I don't think that's what his family was getting at. So I don't know. I didn't feel satisfied with that explanation.
I felt more satisfied at them continuing to talk at the dinner, but like in person at the stream, I was not satisfied with that answer, although it did seem like Charity was. So I don't know if they like cut some of it out because it was so quick. Like what we saw was like, oh yeah, it's just because like I was nervous and whatever. I didn't expect him to be there. But when he kept talking about it, I feel like, and I do think Joey's telling the truth. I think that his family, like Joey might have like a little depression. And I think if things aren't going his way, instead of like being honest and telling people what he's feeling, he masks it and pretends like everything is perfect. So him being like a little nervous when his uncle got there and him acting like, oh, everything's great. And maybe it felt like he was putting on that act again. His uncle might have been like, hey, like, this is someone you're going to be with forever. Like, she's got to know that, like, you're not always going to be on. You're going to have bad days. And I feel like that's probably another reason why his mom brought it up to him, because she probably worries about that. Like, I need you to be honest with her because, like, I'm not going to be able to pick you up. Like, your partner's going to have to pick you up. Your partner's going to have to check in with you. Your partner's going to have to make sure you're okay. And you can't pretend like everything's okay all the time if it's not.
Right.
I could see that being what they're talking about and them being worried about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they just sort of like made it seem like there was like some secret like that we didn't get to see. But
some people are really weird about mental health and like it is secretive and
it's true. Also, maybe he's been through stuff before that they didn't want to like fully dig into, but like they know the warning signs of like when Joey is like holding something in or something like that, which is definitely possible.
Which also this environment is so stressful, and if he actually is like falling for her, I could see them being so fucking worried about that because she's going to choose Dotun.
Yeah.
Like all of it makes sense to me a lot more after him saying that. I know we kind of like last week were like kind of guessing at this and it's not far from what we were thinking.
Yeah. Yeah. And he just seems like very worried about the people around him being happy, which is a nice quality. It also is exhausting for him, I'm sure. Because it's like you absorb a lot of the energy around you. So that impacts you. But it did seem like the date ended well and they seemed happy in the morning. But it just started off so awkward. I was like, oh my God, she doesn't want to be there.
Well, her like jamming the stick shift, like trying her hardest. I was like, oh God, she is not dealing with this well.
Also, the whiplash before getting in the car of like, oh, this guy, like he waited 7 weeks to tell me that he's cheated on his previous girlfriend, and then like having to sort of like move forward is hard. Although I would say for me, that would be ideal. I'd be like, oh, if someone's gonna break my heart, I'd like for there to be a good date immediately after. So at least there's that.
Not only that, for me, this past weekend, I went to dinner with one of my friends from childhood, and she had been in a relationship for 8 years, and they broke up. And I could tell that she's struggling. Like she's really, really sad about it. And she broke up with him. She broke up with him though. And
still.
Yeah. And I was just like, I think it's so much easier to leave someone when you're like, yeah, fuck that guy. I'm good.
Definitely.
Than like the Aaron situation where she's like, he did nothing wrong to me. He's such a nice guy. Like there's not really a reason to stop it other than like, he's not it. I think that's way harder to walk away from. So even though it sucks, both ways suck. I think it's easier.
Yeah, to be like, fuck that guy.
Yeah,
because it's like a clean break. Whereas with like someone who you don't have, where it's just like you've reached the end of it for whatever reason, it's harder because you can't just like villainize them or vilify them or whatever. You're just like, actually, this is a good guy and this is just not it.
Well, yeah, and then like you feel like the villain.
Yeah, I feel bad for your friend. I hope she's okay.
Oh, I think she'll be fine. But yeah, I was just like seeing how upset she was. I was like, this is the best case scenario. And then seeing how she was with Aaron, I was like, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, the Aaron thing was crazy. We're going to get into it. But first, it's time for a special part of today's show. United is the largest carrier across both the Atlantic and the Pacific, and this year's schedule includes nearly 25 new routes. In fact, in 2023, United will fly to over 100 international destinations, including nearly 24 daily flights to London. London is the opposite direction of Fiji for us here in America. I think I personally would rather go to London for a fantasy suite scenario than Fiji, but that's just because there's so much more to do. And I feel like with a partner, like you kind of need to know if you're going to be able to travel together. And in London, you kind of can get all of it. Like you could leave the city and like go to like a cool spa or whatever, or something like that, day trip. But then there's like so much to do in the city, which is why they've gone there on The Bachelor and The Bachelorette several times. But Fiji seems awesome, but only once you really know you like each other. Like I don't want to be left alone on an island with Xavier when he's broken my heart.
For sure. Speaking of someone who's been to both places, I absolutely love Fiji. It's beautiful. The culture is awesome, whatever. But you can't go there with someone that you like can't sit in a room and fart with. Like it's going to be silent. There's going to be moments. London, however, I absolutely love. It's so central. Also, like they're taking day trips to do islands. In London, you could take day trips to different countries.
I know. It's a great point. I'd love to go to Wales. Let's do a day trip there.
Yeah.
That is a really good point. You can go to different countries. You can like just go for a day trip. If you're on The Bachelorette, go to freaking Ireland for the day. It's very close. Just pop on over.
Amsterdam.
Take a helicopter. Yeah, Amsterdam, Paris. So many places you can go. It's a great place, I think, early relationship wise, because there is so much to do. And also London, after watching Top Chef All Stars, I already knew this, but now I'm positive. The food is very good.
Food is really good, apparently. There's some stuff that I had never heard of in London on Top Chef All Stars.
I know, like a Mexican restaurant that I want to try next time I go. Anyway, if you want to go to London for your couple's getaway, make sure you check out United Airlines. Plan your trip today at united.com or on the United app. Remember, flight schedules are subject to change. All right. We didn't talk about Dotun, but let's just talk about Aaron. I mean...
Well, I just had one note on Dotun. Obviously, or I had two notes.
We'll talk about... We can talk... Let's do the Dotun conversation now.
Last.
Sure.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, first note, Dotun's winning. Second note, why does she have lipstick on when they woke up?
Yes. Good question. I do have so many questions about the logistics of fantasy suites. Like, they have to... Like, the camera's not there all night, and it's not like a hidden camera. So when they wake up, like... Are they given an initial wake up, like a knock telling them to get dressed, to get freshened up? Like, I just need to know how it works. Bachelor producers who no longer work on the show, I will preserve your anonymity. Can you please DM me and tell me how this works? Because I'm just very curious about the morning after. Like, are they given pajamas? Like, are they told at a certain time? Do they get an alarm clock? Like, I just have a lot of questions. So again, we'll preserve your anonymity. I promise. Please DM me. I would really appreciate it.
And I'll say, like, Charity's clearly very naturally pretty. She doesn't even wear a lot of makeup. But
she's beautiful, yeah.
She probably would wake up with no lipstick for just Dotun. But then she's like, oh, yeah, cameras are coming for the entire world to see. I'm going to put on some lipstick. But to your point, I just need to know what that is. Like, how does that work in the morning?
Yeah, I just want to know all about it. And like, if I was going to be on camera, I would absolutely want to be in makeup and like good hair 100% of the time. Like, I don't need the world getting the authentic me when I wake up in the morning. So it's not Love Island. It's The Bachelorette. And I just want to know about that. But yeah, the Dotun date was really sweet. I mean, He just seems really happy. Also, this was the first time we really heard them talk about religion and faith. And I think that used to be kind of like overblown on this show. And now I think it's like almost they hide it. But I liked hearing them talk about it. Like if that's important to you and something that you're looking to share, like that's cool. I think they used to like overdo it in ways that felt inauthentic, but this seemed really like important to both of them. And just another reason why it seems like Dotun's going to win.
Agreed. I mean, I feel like for someone who that's very important for, like that conversation probably like just amplifies everything to Charity. Like she's in love with him. She loves, like she likes him as a person. They're cool, whatever, fun. They have fun together. And then having that conversation to someone whose religion is very important to them and important in their relationship, she's probably like, I mean,
it's a wrap. She's like, this is amazing.
It's a wrap. It's a wrap.
I think the way they had the conversation also was really sweet. It's sort of like when you discover something about someone you're dating that you didn't know you shared, and you're like, oh my God, like this is something that's really important, but I didn't know how to bring it up, or I didn't know how to broach it, or maybe you didn't even realize it was important until they say it, but then like it clicks. It's such an exciting feeling. You're like, wow, this could really work. And I felt like that happened.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really sweet. Yeah, I really liked it. I was happy for them.
Last night, I made a joke with my family, and
do they find you funny?
In general, yeah.
You're like, yes, I am funny.
In general, I would say yes. They think that I'm very funny, but I guess no one thought I was joking, and someone got upset.
What was the joke?
I can't even get into it. But I can't.
Was it about religion?
No, not about religion. It was about feminism and how when we were younger, like I grew up around all boys. So like I used to think that feminists were like crazy people. And it was really just like conversations with me and my brother where we'd be like, wow, she's nuts. Like she thinks that women, blah, 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 whatever. And so I had said something and I was like, yeah, I am a feminist now because of the way that I grew up. But I was completely joking. And someone took it seriously and was like, oh, you had such a horrible childhood. But this was like 2 hours after the convo. And I was like, huh? And they were like, earlier, you said that you have to be a feminist now because of how you grew up. And I like looked at Seth and I was like, did you know I was joking when I said that? And he was like, yeah, clearly, I thought everyone knew it was a joke. And in my head, I was like, does he just get me better than everyone else? Like it made me feel good that at least he knew that I was joking and no one else thought I was. But like, it's just, I feel like those like little things where you're just like, oh, he really understands me. And they didn't. Yeah.
The expression, like, I feel seen, it was like really overused on social. But the kernel of that truth, when you do feel seen or you feel like connection, is actually really powerful and really moving.
It's real.
When it's real. Great. When it's not a meme. Yes, when it's not a meme. But it is nice. And I feel like Charity
and
the
new Love Island thing. When Charity had clarity, she had a bit of clarity.
After they had been through a test.
Yeah. She was like, oh yeah. But no, like I feel like it was already a wrap before that convo. But
yeah,
if he doesn't win,
it'll be shocking.
Shocking.
I mean, if he doesn't win, then whoever she picked in Fiji should feel afraid, like from watching the show and be like, oh, we're not lasting. She's still in love with someone else.
True.
So not great. But and also just Dotun seems like a nice, sweet guy.
Wait, last thing on Dotun
match. Yeah.
You didn't know you got proposed to at the end of it? Like you proposed at the end of this?
That can't be true, but
let's just take it at face value. She said it. What about all the Brayden arguments? Were you not there?
What does he think he's doing? Just like having fun?
There has been multiple discussions about being engaged at the end of this. There was huge arguments that took up episodes of Brayden being like, yeah, I'm not sure if I can get engaged. Which, by the way, I have a little bit of clarity on how Xavier and Brayden were friends. Xavier was like, yeah, bud.
So true. Great point.
Me either.
I didn't think about that. But every time Brayden was complaining, Xavier was like, yeah.
He's like, I'm not going to say it because obviously it's not going to work if I say it out loud. But yeah, I don't think so either.
That's a really good point, Callie. I hadn't thought about it. But them standing in the rain together takes on a whole new a new meaning. And for some reason that really stood out.
Like, bro, just wait till the end. Just wait till the end to tell her.
Xavier is the kind of person who like I become obsessed with. And I'm like, am I obsessed with you because I'm like a masochist or like what's wrong with me that I'm obsessed with you? But he just does seem great.
I mean, I was obsessed with Tyreek when he like was like, yeah, I'm just going to see whoever I want to, talk to whoever I want to. I was like, yeah, love him. That's what I want.
Okay, so we're in this together. I feel seen. I was gonna say something else about Dotun, and now I've forgotten. Oh, this is what it was. When he didn't think his parents were coming to the hometown date, when they were discussing it, like, wouldn't it have come up like, "Will I meet your parents before we get engaged?" Or like, "Oh, I'd like to meet your parents."
Juliet, there's just no way he didn't know. There's no way he
that
didn't
gives
know.
me a little bit of that's a red flag for me. I'm just like, is he playing dumb? Is this an act? Like, what's going on?
I couldn't really like figure it out.
I have a little bit of a like, is this too good to be true with Dotun? Something about him.
They haven't had any tests.
Great point. We got to throw something at them. All right. We now need to talk about Aaron B, who I was happy to never see again. So the fact that he flew all the way to Fiji, I was just like, oh my God, really? So Callie, what's the travel like from United States to Fiji? How long does that take? Oh,
wow. It is a lot. You have to fly from well, it depends on what island you're staying on. But you fly from LA to the Big Island and then the Big Island to whatever island you're going to. I want to say it took 11 or 12 hours.
From LA?
I think so.
Oh my God. Hawaii is 5.5. That's crazy.
I mean, let me make sure because I also went to Australia right before that. But Australia was like 16.
That was 16, yeah.
Yeah.
I recall when you went. You had a lot of travel last summer.
Yeah, too much.
That's a really long trip. Also, I was very confused because he went back to San Diego, and for weeks I was like, oh, this guy lives in New Orleans, but he's from Houston. I was like, where the F does this guy live? I guess he lives in San Diego. But everything with this was so fake. Like him going up to the hotel and asking the check-in person, where's Charity?
Oh my God. Like,
was one of the dumbest, fakest things I've ever seen. And I'm just like, they think this finale was going to be too boring, so that's why they flew him in. Like, everything about it was just inexplicable. Their conversation didn't really make sense. I don't know. And like, if it was her off day, there wouldn't have been cameras around. Like, I just don't believe anything that happened with this Aaron situation. And I think that he was just like happy to be on TV for longer. I don't know. Everything about it was just clearly staged. It was really dumb. And their conversation together when she was like, yeah, I have been thinking about you, seemed like a reshoot to me. Like maybe they met up at some other point and they didn't get it on camera or the audio is bad, but it was so wooden and stiff. I just didn't buy it at all.
I just think, first of all, the check-in desk, all that, like, obviously
so
he
fake.
was like,
oh, we don't gotta give out, you know what it might have been? And then she's like, we don't give out guest information. When you film on location someplace and like it's free or whatever, you do have certain obligations. So maybe part of the deal was like they had to show the check-in desk or something like that. And this was the way that they could do it. But it was so stupid.
Literally the least believable thing that we've seen this season.
Completely ridiculous.
And then him being like, do you have a room number? He's like, no, I'm trying to find her. Also, just Charity, no last name.
I know, just Charity. The Bachelorette. Have you heard of her?
Yeah, it was just so stupid. Anyways, and then he's walking around this, seems like a pretty massive hotel. And he's just like, knows exactly where she is. And like, he's walking in the background. She has no idea. Also, I was like, who is she filming with? It was like 2 people laying by the pool.
It must have been the producers that she like hangs out with.
Okay.
Spends time with.
I mean, it was just very unbelievable. Then he was like, I'll give you a second, and just like walks to the other side of the pool and then walks back. I'm like,
it looked like a shitty pool. I was like, can't she stay someplace nicer?
I don't know.
Just seemed like a Marriott.
By the way, it is like 11-ish hours to one of the big islands.
That's crazy. That's too far for me.
All the other islands you have to take. Like if you go to other islands, you'll probably have to stop somewhere. So yeah, even longer.
Jesus. So Aaron had a long journey.
Yeah, and I don't even know what island they're staying on. So he flew 11 hours to the big island and then however many more to whatever that island he went to.
It was just so fake. And there's no way she's picking him, like, at all. Well, even though she was, like, okay with him coming back.
Was my question. Would you, like, I don't understand. How could you take him back? And also for Aaron, why would you want to be taken back knowing you're not winning?
It's the final 3. So it's like she's not going to bring a guy she didn't have another, like, final date with to meet her parents. Like, that's crazy.
But it's also just like, you picked these people over me.
I know. You picked someone who told you repeatedly he wasn't sure over me.
And now that guy wasn't sure, you're like, you know what? I'll give you another chance. But you told the other two guys you're in love with them. Like, what's the point of bringing him back? He's not going to win.
I have no idea. I guess to have a more dramatic rose ceremony. I really don't know. Like everything with Aaron just really seems like producer intervention for me, because there's no way. Like what we saw play out was so inauthentic and clearly staged. And like for all the reasons we're bringing up, like there's just no way that this is how it like would have played out naturally. And like, of course, I know it's a TV show, but some things are like, happen in due course, and just didn't seem like this was one of them.
I mean,
you're speechless.
Yeah, I'm just like, what?
Also, we got so little of him. Like, there's no way she's picking him because he was on the show for like a total of 3 minutes over the course of 80 minutes minus commercials. And so that's just not enough Aaron time for it to be like compelling. And also, there's only one episode left. There's the Men Tell All next week, and then the following week's the finale. So,
but it has him walking on the beach in a suit.
I know. I think he goes to this rose ceremony. It's really weird.
And then I'm just like, she's just going to deny him again?
Yes. And he flew all the way to Fiji.
I don't know. I just can't. I don't understand any of it. It would be a lot easier for me to understand if he flew United to London.
Yes, that would make a lot more sense. It would be an easier trip. Also, once he was there, there'd be like other things to do.
Yeah, he's just like, all right, didn't work out. Let me go to Paris.
Yeah, he'd be like, all right, cool. This is the gateway to Europe. I can go anywhere.
Yeah, let me go to Lisbon.
I'll go to Ibiza.
Yeah,
I'll go to Ibiza and party. Like
drink,
why not?
Drink my sorrows away.
Exactly. I'll go to Mallorca. Like
what?
Now you're stuck.
There's nothing that made sense to me. Nothing that made sense to me.
And the hotel piece of it was just so dumb. I felt bad for the woman who worked at the hotel that she had to be a part of the charade. Or as they say on Love Island, charade. So it was just ridiculous. I mean, it's going to be Dotun, I can't believe that next week's the Men Tell All and then the finale. I mean,
Men Tell All looks good.
I guess. I am excited to hear from Xavier because I'm just like, we need some clarification and some follow-up.
His eyes were watering.
Yeah, I mean, he probably is like, I handled this wrong. I have to assume he knows this was like a weird look for him in general.
I'm not sure if he does, but it'll be interesting to see. I think the Men Tell All looks good. The finale looks good, although we just know it's Dotun. So
yeah. What a weird season. Charity's been a great lead, but this has been a weird season.
I think it's weird because I think she started out with actually like a pretty decent group of guys, and
a great group.
Her final four whittled down to like a guy that didn't want to be there, a guy that wants to be there too badly and she doesn't want him, a guy that won week 2, and Joey.
Is there any way he's not the Bachelor?
No, he's the Bachelor.
He's got to be, right?
Yeah, he's the Bachelor. Only way he's not the Bachelor is if the Bachelor finally chooses Nate, which they're not going to. So
Michelle's Nate.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Michelle's Nate would choose the Bachelor. I feel like he wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I know, but
that's part of why he's so attractive, He's like, just wouldn't do it. Joey's story is very good for being the Bachelor, which is like, I give too much and I want people to be happy, and I like that's very, very
compelling.
Very surface level problem too. Like it's just easy to maneuver around.
Yeah, he has some not surface level problems,
of course.
Yeah,
but like that's just a good narrative for Bachelor. So
yeah,
great job by everyone. Quick Love Island recap. Last night was the reunion. I haven't seen it. Have you? But
is it up yet?
I haven't checked. Actually, forgot to check. Sammy and Jess won. And honestly,
do we want to do like a spoiler alert or?
Hasn't it been on the US? We're just 5 days behind.
I don't know. I like completely went off the Hulu schedule and just did my own thing.
I know. You really did. I honestly, Callie, I felt the opposite of seeing. I was like, I thought we were in this together. And now you're just like watching. You told me not to take spoilers in. And you're
at
just
the
like
very end, it's so
TikTok.
hard because like I don't care about the one-on-one dates.
I also like once the family arrived, I was like, oh, I'm not into this. I don't like Family Day. It sort of like pierces the bubble, and I'm like, I'm here for the fantasy.
I am so happy they did not do Baby Day.
Oh my God, me too. I hated the sounds of Baby Day, like the dolls and stuff. So there's a lot of theories online about how the producers basically didn't want they didn't want Whitney and Lock-In to win.
I have seen Whitney and Lachlan and Ty and Ella. And I've seen that they wanted Jess and Sammy and Zach and Molly to win. But Molly made it really hard for Zach and Molly to win.
Yes, she made it really hard by refusing to speak.
Right. Correct.
Like, given the opportunity to talk, she was like, nope, I'm good. And in the Grafties, like, she could have maybe won it for them.
Yeah, but I also think that coming out of the villa and getting your phone and seeing what people were saying about her completely changed her personality when she went back in.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, which is a reason why they should
not let that happen.
Think about how to do this. Yeah, how they do it.
Well, if they were going to put her back in, they shouldn't have let her come out and do After Sun, because like sometimes it seems like it's a long time before they're on After Sun. So like she could have just waited one more week, not gone on After Sun, not done that, and gone back in the villa, and no one would have known.
Give her some extra money to stay off the grid. You know.
Yeah. Jess and Sammy, like, it's
inexplicable.
It really is. They even released the percentage of votes because I feel like so many people were like,
people didn't believe it.
And they only got like 30% of the votes, but
it was split among the other
Whitney
couples.
and Lachlan and Ty and Ella both had like around 24, 26.
Yeah.
So
it's just ridiculous. Sammy did get a really soft edit based on all the accounts from the Islanders when they've left the villa.
Yeah.
And like they were really, really generous to him for reasons unknown.
And the opposite for both Ty and Whitney. Like they wanted to show every fight Ty got into, like every skirmish, and wanted Whitney to. They definitely, after the whole "you're the favorite person," favorite couple, they wanted to make her seem smug as hell.
Tear him down. Yeah. It's a real bummer. But that said, I mean, good luck, Sam and Jess and Sammy. I can't say it. They're not staying together.
By the way, I looked at the followers.
Who
do you think has the most followers?
Ty.
I think he has second most.
Behind Whitney?
No.
Zach?
Ella.
Oh, she does? Because she's hot?
Yeah, I assume so. I don't know. I'm just like, so Ty and Ella as a couple have the most followers by far. Whitney, I think, has this. Well, I didn't include Katie in that because I think Katie has more than everyone. But like,
right,
she's a different situation.
They all seem to hate her. They seem to really hate her.
Well, it's because of her podcasting, and she's like, "I'm just answering questions," but it's like everyone's asked those same questions, Katie. You need to like acknowledge that you're answering them differently than everybody else.
I will say she's playing the game. Like she clearly went on the show again to remain famous.
100%.
And she's doing it. So good for her.
The only thing though is that like they went out after reunion. And she was there like booed up with Uzi with the whole group. But I think people really like Uzi.
Zach and Molly were not though.
Oh yeah.
Neither were Ellen B and Mitch.
Well, clearly Zach is done with Katie. He could not be more annoyed with Katie.
I have to say Zach in the real world seems like a pretty great guy. I wasn't really into him on the show, but he just seems like a good dude.
I loved how he was with Molly at the reunion. Well, I only saw like clips. Oh, I loved him with his family. But also like he was holding Molly's leg when Katie was saying anything. Like you could tell he wants to make sure Molly's good.
You've basically watched the reunion. This is bullshit. I haven't seen it.
I have not watched the reunion. I also heard him on the Love Island after show podcast.
Yeah, morning after. Yeah.
When he said that Montel showed him Molly's TikToks immediately after leaving the villa. Like, bro, look at these TikToks. And he was like, Molly was like, please don't get the ick. And he was like, I'll do a TikTok with her.
Aw, that's sweet. I still don't think they'll last, but that's nice. He seems like a great guy.
My group chat was doing this. Who do you think will last the longest?
That's tough. Who do I think will last the longest? Maybe Ty and Ella, just to, like prove people wrong.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
They also seem like they most generally like each other. What?
I just checked followers again. Jess now has more than Ty.
Really?
Still less than Ella, but yeah.
I think that Ty and Ella will last for a while. They'll fight a lot, but they'll last. What do you think?
I had Ty and Ella lasting the longest, but I don't know how long that is. Everyone in my group chat seems to think that Ty's DMs are probably out of this world, and that's going to be really hard for him.
I just feel like he's always been really desired by women, though. So maybe he's like ready to, although he's only 24. So I don't know. I could see Zach and Molly being second longest.
Me too. I think Sammy and Jess will last like
5 minutes,
maybe 4 weeks.
Yeah.
A lot of the Islanders doing the podcast, leaving the show, like they've been asked like who was the most attractive Islander, and they've all been like obviously Ty. So I'm like, oh, he's just, I think he's always been like
he's got to be magnetic,
very pretty boy with a good personality. That's like,
yeah.
Because like I think Zach is actually like his face is very, very attractive to me.
I think Zach looks a lot better out of the villa, not just like physically, but just like he seems more comfortable. He
Way
seems
more
more at ease.
comfortable.
He seems happier.
As someone who's had like, different body struggles, I'm not talking about me, I'm talking about him. But I guess
that was clear, but thanks for clarifying.
I will say like, obviously I've had babies and stuff. So like, your body doesn't look like it did before a baby. Would I want to fucking sit in a swimsuit all day? No.
I wouldn't want to at any time. I have not had babies and I don't want to do that. I've never wanted to do that.
Like, sure, when I was 22 and I like could eat 7 Big Macs and still feel really skinny, sure. But like, no, right now would I do that? No, I wouldn't.
At no time in my life would I do that.
So I'm sure Zach, that had to have, especially since he's a personal trainer, he has transformed his body, and then like going in there where you can't have like a strict diet or can't have like a strict workout regimen. Yeah. I'm sure that wasn't like super comfortable for him. Also just like wearing your own clothes and all that. Like he looks great.
He does. He just looks happier. That's the main difference. His smile is brighter.
He's
honestly
very good looking.
He's just, I like him a lot more outside of the show, like already. Like, I just think he seems like a good dude. Clearly has like lifelong friends, which I always think to be like an important marker of someone's character. And like, I don't know. I say that someone with a lot of lifelong friends, so perhaps I'm biased.
No.
I think true.
I think that's fair. Whenever you meet someone who doesn't have friends, you're like, why?
Yeah, like what happened? Or like, what's your deal? So,
yeah.
I don't know. I do feel like I need a bit of a Love Island break, but like, where should we go next? Do we go to season 2? Do we go to season 4? Do we go to season 5?
Yeah,
those are the contenders. 2, 4, 5.
So rough because I think most people would vote 5.
5.
Yeah. But I also think it'd be fun for us to watch a season neither one of us have watched together.
I know. And then we can go in order. So I think we should do 2 and we'll save 5 for a really exciting time in the future in 2024. But I don't know when that's going to be because we got a lot of Bachelor content coming up.
You know what? Well, let's just start with 2 whenever we do it again. And we could plan 5 around Molly Mae and Tommy's wedding because I'm sure they're getting married next year.
Isn't that soon though? Oh, they have that show coming on Netflix, right?
Yeah. No, but they just got engaged like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, that was their engagement.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I'd love to do that. Also, I feel like I would get to know some other sports that way. I actually like getting to know sports through reality TV, which
Clearly.
I guess is not a surprise at all.
Clearly. The F1 show, the match point, breakpoint, right? Breakpoint.
Yeah, I watched. That was terrible, but
Breakpoint.
quarterback. Yeah.
Did you ever watch Full Swing?
Yes, I did. And it made me hate golf fans.
Okay.
But I'm really excited to watch Hard Knocks, which starts this week. Woo!
What team is it?
The Jets. Fucking Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, that would actually be really good.
Yeah, I know. I'm really excited. Callie, another Love Island season together in the books. What a delight. And we're almost at the end of this Bachelorette season, but we still got more to come. I'll be back on Thursday. We'll be back next week on Monday night, as per usual. Thank you to our producer, Ashleigh Smith. And Xavier, wishing you the best.